Oh my goodness. Welcome to the One Day at a Time panel. Are you guys excited? I'm so excited that I crashed this and I stole the notes and we're doing this now. If you don't know who I am and like, why is this lady up on stage? I play Carmen in season 1. The show is the greatest thing to ever happen in my life, so I'm really excited to be here, and I'm excited that you guys are all here. So without further ado, let me introduce your amazing panel. There's the truest ally of all time, the executive producer who made this happen, Brent Miller. Next up, we have the coolest non-binary kid on the block. There's Sheridan Pierce. And last but not least, the love of my life, Isabella Gomez.
Hi, girlfriend.
I love you. So I will be handing this off to your moderator. You're in very good hands. She's amazing. We talked. She is an amazing panel plan for you all. Her name is Chloe C. Woo! Thank you for letting me do this. I'm out of your hair now. Have a great panel, everyone.
Thank you.
I love you. Ariella Barrere. Yes, queen. Is this on? Yes, it is.
Is everyone's your mic working?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Brent.
Hello, testing.
Hi. Are you folks excited?
Yeah.
So we have One Day at a Time here at ClexaCon, right? 2019. It's a pretty. You seem excited.
I'm very excited.
And so yeah, today we're going to talk about like so many things. And
all the things.
They're ready. They're ready for it.
We're ready.
We're going to tackle some harder stuff like the overarching themes in the series: mental health, addiction. I mean, these aren't things you really clap for. I guess,
cheer.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Addiction.
One Day at a Time tackles racism and classism and queer representation and all that good stuff. It's actually pretty exciting. Brent, how did that happen?
Are you asking how the show came about?
How does that? Well, that we got something with such good content on television, on Netflix.
You know, we realized, myself and my producing partner Norman Lear, that there was a large underserved audience. Yeah, let's hear for Norman Lear, 96. There was a significantly underserved audience out there that we wanted to go after. And there was this one afternoon when I went up to him and I said, what do you think about bringing back One Day at a Time, but with the Latinx cast? And he said, I love the idea. Go for it. And for the next 6 months, that's exactly what I did. I went and explored on how we could potentially bring this show back to life. And it's, as you all know, 180 degrees different from the original. And we couldn't be more proud of this show and the cast and the writers. And I don't know, I think you all met Mike Royce and Gloria Calderon-Kellett last year, our incredible showrunners. But you know, for me, it's once the show is up and running as a non-writing executive producer, it pretty much is on its own, and we become huge fans just like you guys and support in any way we can.
Might I add
Yes.
that, because you asked, like, how did we get this on TV?
Yeah.
I think Netflix was such a big part of that because a network would have never picked a show like this up with, like, a Latinx family with, just 3 women as leads and all of these topics that you talked about and LGBTQ and all of this stuff is very taboo in television and they don't know if it sells. It does.
It does. People want that.
So Netflix really was such an incredible partner to do that with because they gave us artistic freedom and like they would come in and give us notes where they'd be like, I mean, you could do this, but also do whatever you want. And if like it wasn't for that freedom, this show wouldn't have happened. So Netflix is a big part of that.
Netflix and Sony, both.
Sony, who are the loveliest.
Well, yeah, because GLAAD's 2018 TV diversity report spoke to a record high in LGBTQ representation last year. The study called out Netflix as the best streaming platform for diverse representation of LGBTQ plus characters. So that is exciting. So I know we're just going to go to some of the basic questions, like how does it feel to play that on screen with those intersections?
It's incredible. It's an actor's dream, and also it becomes so much more than that after you do it because we in this industry tend to just kind of be in a bubble of we're just trying to get our next gig and whatever it is, we're going to do it. And then you get a character like Elena Alvarez where she's so layered and important and smart and has so much to say and so much knowledge. She's incredible. I want to be her when I grow up. So it feels like such a dream. And then to also play someone who then means so much to people. Because how many characters are there on TV that you're like, I could do without it. And then there's this character who I get to come here and meet all of you guys and hear all your stories and hear how Elena in one way or another has been a part of your story. And it's more than you could ever hope or dream for as an actor. So it's lovely. I love it.
That's a good answer. That was a good answer, right? Can I ask you, Sheridan, how does it feel to play a non-binary character?
Okay, well, first of all, I want to say that this is my first ClexaCon, and I am living for it. It has been so much fun, and I'm very happy to be here. To answer the question that was asked of me, I mean, honestly, playing Syd has been the experience of a lifetime. This character is so special to me, and I think it sounds like to a lot of the fans as well. So it's been pretty amazing. In short, it's been amazing, working with Isabella and just seeing how Syd and Elena's relationship has evolved, especially in this last season. And so, playing a non-binary person that's not, something that I take lightly. I did do research, and to make this character really come to life was a challenge, but it was so rewarding, and the feedback that I've gotten from fans has been really amazing. So I'm just so happy.
Was there a lot of research that both of you had to do for this role at all?
I mean, yeah.
Talk about it.
She turns to me.
Tell us about your research.
Yes, many databases and articles, and but yes, there was. I definitely, watched a lot of YouTube videos for sure, read articles, was very, educated myself as much as I could, but also at the end of the day, it was important for me to portray Syd as a real person. That's, I think, the number one thing. Like, Elena and Syd are both in high school and figuring out a lot of things about themselves and even what a relationship is. And so, I think that this whole thing was a big learning experience for me, definitely. And I think the episode To Zur with Love was a great, it's one of my favorite episodes. It's also the first episode I was in. So I guess, it's one of my favorites. Like, yeah, I'm sure. But
that episode was an education for me.
yeah, and just the way that identifying pronouns was handled in that one scene, which is also a very funny scene, especially with Lydia. But yeah, so I mean, I feel like there's a lot that I learned from the show itself, which was pretty amazing, and not even just within Syd's storylines, but with Penelope's and with Alex and everyone else. So it's pretty amazing.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready?
I'm
Isabella's
ready
always ready, right?
ready to answer, yes.
So when it came to receiving the scripts with some of these themes, right? And you had your own context about what these meant. What kind of learnings did you have as an actor, receiving the scripts on the show?
I mean, I learned so much because Elena's a genius and she knows everything about everything. So especially season 1, she would talk and I'd be like, what? What is she saying? Which is funny, especially the voting episode. I took Gov in high school. I had no idea that this sounds so ignorant. I had no idea that like all elections were that important. I know, I'm sorry, I learned, I'm bettering myself. I learned all the time, and like every script was a teaching moment, and not even only for like facts like that, but also emotionally as humans. These characters are so developed emotionally, and so to have to process some of this stuff, and I know we have questions later about certain topics, but especially for certain things that I've lived one way, that Elena has lived a different way, was very interesting for me to have to learn those, especially, you know, with the losing the virginity episode and the anxiety. The way that Elena lived those experiences is very different than my own, and so it was hard to have to draw back and let myself go into her and not let my own experiences shadow hers. But I learned a lot, and I've learned a lot about humans on this show, not only from the scripts, but the thing about our show is that it's such an artistic collaboration. So we'd get these scripts full of all this juicy stuff, and then we'd go and get to talk to the writers and our producers and our incredible directors about it and have full conversations. Or like, for example, with the pronoun stuff, I remember it went kind of just like that on set, off screen, where Rita was like, what? And I was like, Rita, ready? And Justina and Todd are like in the background, just like slightly listening, like, okay, we're gonna figure this out too. And I'm like, so pronouns. And then I'd look at Michelle, one of our artists, be like, am I saying this right? Yeah, cool. So pronouns. So it was such a learning experience for all of us, and it's so eye-opening, and I think all of us came out better humans from this experience.
That's a good answer. You're funny.
Thanks, I was on a sitcom.
All right, so, I mean, you brought up juicy stuff, so I feel like we have to ask the question. Yeah. What was it like to, to have your first lady-loving scene in season 3? We need to know.
Terrifying.
Who wants to go first? Look at it. Feel like you're gonna go. Go.
We blacked out the whole experience. We don't even remember what you're talking about.
Well, that episode was, it's an intense episode. I mean, there's a lot happening, especially in that one scene, you know? It's like...
The one scene, you know, the one...
Do you know the one that we're talking about? And so, yeah, I feel like we kind of, as actors, checked in with each other a lot during that. We're like, is this working? Like, how are you feeling about this? But I think what's so amazing about that scene is just the reaction of, we can do whatever you want when you're ready, or we don't have to do anything at all if that's what you want. I've never seen that ever on a show. Someone saying we don't ever have to even do anything, and I think that's pretty amazing. Yeah. Because, I mean, you guys have seen how sex is portrayed, especially with the first time, usually on TV, and it's like, you know, either they just do it, and there's just no conversation about it, and everything was perfect. Like, what? When does that happen?
Or it was just like a funny story, and like, haha, and it was never traumatic, and you're like,
it's like, okay, can we back up? Can we talk about this?
No, okay, no, it's fine.
What just happened? Like, this, no. And so I was really happy. I thought the writing on that episode was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was rough for me personally. It was really hard. Intimacy in my life has been weird, without getting like TMI. I've had a lot of like issues with it because of the way that sex is portrayed in the media, and the way that us women are meant to feel about how our value is in our sexuality and how attractive we are to men, which is bullshit. Yes. But we know that rationally. However, when you are taught from the moment you are born that that's not the case, and I can't speak for other cultures, but especially in the Latinx culture, your value is in how you look and how it's just awful. So it was so rough for me to have that conversation. And I remember I got the script early because Michelle Badillo was one of the writers, and Caroline Levitch. They're incredible. They're my friends, and they sent it to me early because they knew I would have trouble with it. And I freaked out. I was on set, and I started like crying because I was like, I don't know that I can do justice to this because I'm so terrified. And I've never had this conversation in real life. Like, no one's ever been like, well, we don't have to do anything if you don't want to. So for me, usually people are terrified of the actual sex scene, like the taking the clothes off and all that. For me, the intimacy of that conversation and what it meant was so heartbreaking. And oh my God, I want to get emotional. It was the most beautifully written scene, and exactly what I wish my experience had been like and what I wish people's experience would be like. And consent is just not talked about, and it's so crucial, and it is so necessary. And if you can't have a conversation, yes. I think if you can't have a conversation with your partner about sex and you think it's weird or awkward and uncomfortable, you're not ready to have sex with them. Because sex is weird and uncomfortable and awkward, and it is so intimate, and especially for women, the science of it, of like the chemicals released in your brain when you share this part of yourself with somebody. So to do that scene was rough. And Sheridan was so lovely to deal with me as I freaked out the entire time and just like cut, and I would like walk off in a huff like okay. So it was rough, but I was so excited that I got to tell this story on TV and show this scene and show not only young people but everybody that needs that to heal from whatever happened in their lives, to show that whatever bad experience you had doesn't have to be the norm, and that we can change this conversation around consent, and that we can demand it because it is a basic human right, and that these conversations are necessary, and that they make sex better. If you're connected with your person, it's better. Just trust me. Just talk about it. So I was very I'm talking so much. I was very excited, but it was hard.
Aspirational and inspirational. And as an aside, you're just as clever as your character. Speaking of themes like consent, Brent, this is a question for you. When it comes to coming up with the tougher topics to go on to the show and make it into the script, can you tell us a bit about the thinking that goes behind the scenes in the writer's room with the showrunners, with the executive producers? How do you decide the overarching themes for what ends up making it on screen for one day at a time?
I think first and foremost, what the writers concentrate on is authenticity to the character and to the story and to the stories that we're telling. Norman is historically known for tackling issues ever since All in the Family or The Jeffersons or Sanford and Son or any of those shows back in the 70s, and really kind of paving the way to say we can have these real conversations and we can do it with humor. And I think the beauty that what One Day at a Time does, and largely due to Mike and Gloria at the helm, is they carry the audience through these emotional roller coasters, but do it in a way that they're talking about things that matter. And I think ultimately that's what we care about, is let's have a conversation about things that matter.
That's good thinking. I mean, it's that kind of thinking that makes a groundbreaking sitcom, right? And that's the exciting part. So I want to talk to you, Isabella. I have a question for you.
Great.
Are you ready?
I promise I won't talk for
Are you
15
ready?
minutes.
And actually, you can answer this as well, Sheridan.
Nice.
So, do you have?
Yeah.
Do you have a proudest storyline arc that you've tackled on the show, on the screen?
I mean, yes. Obviously, the sex storyline, because of everything I just said.
Consent matters.
Consent matters. But also, I think just her overall LGBTQ experience, which is like, of course, that's why I'm here. But but the way that it was handled, and this had nothing to do with me. The writers are incredible. And the way that they made sure that we had LGBTQ writers and that we had all of this information so that I could be the best vessel I could be for this story. was my favorite thing because I was so unaware of the lack of representation for LGBTQ. And to be able to do it in this way, where Elena is not defined by her sexuality at all, she's just happens to be LGBTQ, is my favorite thing. And like all of you guys tell me all the time, you've never seen something like this, and you've never seen a young girl not be sexualized and like do all of these things and like be so layered and not just have like the one very special coming out episode and then we never talk about it again. So that was definitely my proudest thing, and I feel so lucky to have gotten to do it because this character was going to be groundbreaking regardless of who did it, so that the fact that I got to do it, I'm like, yeah.
And to add to that, we are so lucky to have you play that role.
Sheridan?
Yes. Okay, so many of the storylines that happen with Syd are obviously like my favorites, but if I had to choose some of them, I really liked Syd and Elena figuring out what their kind of relationship name would be. Like that, I thought that was so great, and I really loved how Schneider was helping them with that, because it's like, you know, it was great because I think Elena brings up that, you know, it doesn't work both ways. You know, Elena's Syd's girlfriend, but, you know, what about the other way around? And that no one really questions it. You know what I mean? No one goes, well, why? Just say girlfriend. Like, I feel like there was a lot of respect. And you see that with Schneider, even though he's being, you know, fun and goofy, but he really helps them out. And I love that. That's just one of my favorite things. Additionally, I really...
You're such a dork.
Sorry. I'm actually very chill and very cool. I never get nervous, and I am...
My hand's sweating? Not at all. What?
I'm like Matthew McConaughey. All right.
All right.
Gosh, what was the other one that I liked? Oh,
I can't. Can you say the ask, because that's my favorite.
Oh yeah, the ask.
I'm just gonna like throw compliments. So for the audition, when we tested all the girls for Syd, they had to do the big ask. It was 10 girls that had to do the big. That's a hard thing to do, and obviously Sheridan killed it.
Thanks. Well, I'll tell you, that was a very nerve-wracking moment because I had to do 2 scenes and then the big ask. And so I did the 2 scenes and I was like, is it big ask time? And they were like, yeah. And so I did it, and, you know, it's a lot of words. You guys know. It's a lot of words. I had messed up one of them, and it kind of threw me off, and I was like, can I start again? And everyone was like, yeah, of course. And I did it again.
Suck, bye.
And I did it again, but afterwards, I was so upset because I was like, I messed it up. Like, I had to start again, and that was it, and I blew it. And I really wanted to be on One Day at a Time. But obviously it worked out. And here we are.
Yeah. We're here.
You're here in Vegas at ClexaCon 2019.
Yeah.
Right? Hi, Brent.
Hi.
I have another question for you. So it sounds like you've done responsible staffing, right? When it comes to the writer's room, having people help craft the right scenes. What's that process been like? A lot of network execs, showrunners use the excuse that it's hard to do that. So I'd like you to explain. Was there a lot of pushback? Did you get a lot of that, or how did that work? How did you make that happen?
It's not that it's hard to do. It's just it's part of your job. It's much easier to not do it.
Thank you.
I personally, you know, and this is what I love again about Gloria and Mike is. I mean, a funny story is that when we first, Norman and I were sitting there, and Sony had introduced us to Mike Royce, and he came in for this meeting, and we're sitting there talking. This is what we want to do. We want to do a reimagined version of One Day at a Time, and it's going to be a Latinx cast. And we all kind of sat there and looked at each other, and I said, we're 3 white men. Who's going to tell this story that's female-driven and Latin? And so then we went on this search for Gloria Calderon Kellett, and it was the best arranged marriage, I think, in Hollywood with the two of them. And, you know, it was just like one of these things that we, as soon as Gloria came on board, we thought, how can we make sure that this writer's room represents the kind of stories that we want to tell? And let's make sure it's half women. This is stories about a single mom and her raising her kids and doing it with an abuelita that lives in the apartment. Well, I don't have to tell you what this show is.
Have you guys watched the show?
How many fans do we have in the room? Like, actually. I think they watch the show.
That feels so
They're
good.
like, this was the only thing going on right now, so we just came. What is
Yeah,
this show?
Anyway, to your point is that we take the extra mile and make sure that we can find writers that are authentic to the stories we're telling and that represent the room in a way that is balanced and appropriate.
Aren't we glad it's not just 3 white men running the show?
I'm glad it's just
You know what I mean? Like 3 white men for spring, groundbreaking.
Isabella. Yeah? You ready for it again? Okay. Do you have a favorite season so far?
Season 4?
Season 4! Isn't this sad?
We're going to have to talk about that too. But
Yeah. I haven't.
There is still hope. There is still hope.
There is still hope. We're going to talk about this after.
Stand by for talking about that.
Put a pin in that.
Put a pin on it. It's interesting because a lot of people have said that season 3 is their favorite, and I feel like Justine and I were talking about it. We're like, what? Like, I don't know what it was about this season. Making it was a little different, I think, than the other. We filmed out of order, and we changed our days from like Monday to Tuesday shooting to Thursday to Friday. So it felt a little like fast, but it also felt like we had been doing it for 15 years. And I swear to you, I didn't remember what the season was. Like, I didn't remember what we shot. We did press for season 3, and I was like, okay. So, I just said that. It had nothing to do with the question. No, I think they all are so special. I definitely love season 3 for the character development and seeing how much these people have grown. But I think season 1 is so special is when we all get introduced. It was like the quinceañera and all this stuff. I will say, I love working with Todd Grinnell as my scene partner. And I asked for it season 1 because Elena and Schneider never talked season 1. And I was like, Gloria, I want to work with Todd Grinnell. And then season 2, I had a bunch of stuff with him, and I really loved that. Schneider's my favorite character on the show. And I just adore Todd Grinnell. I think he's such a comedic genius. I think he is so underrated. I say this all the time. Like, what he does is not easy to do. If you look at Schneider on paper, he's the most unlikable character ever. Like, he's this white privileged man that, like, is so unaware and, like, it's awful. And then Todd makes him the most likable, loving human. It's just incredible, and he's hilarious. And it's not easy to be comedic relief, especially in a show like this where we're dealing with heavy stuff.
And by the way, you know, that character was the most difficult to cast. There's always one in every show, but he was the very last character that we cast, and we saw everyone from Ellen DeGeneres to play the role of Schneider to oh God, what's the guy from Princess Bride? I'm trying to think the short guy. No, the short Wallace Shawn. Thank you. I mean, that's how across the spectrum we were trying to find Schneider, and Todd was the one that just brought it home because, you know, truthfully, those were the biggest shoes to fill because it was the only character where we actually kept the name.
And he's a genius.
He's amazing.
And he never breaks.
And a good person.
This is the Todd Grinnell panel. We love him. No, I love him, and I feel like I become such a better artist when I work with Todd because he's the best. Season 2, I think, maybe.
So season 2.
All of them. Season 4.
Season 4. How about you, Sheridan?
I like
Season 1. I loved when Syd wasn't in it.
Yeah. Syd was there in spirit. I like 2. I like 3. I like 4, 5, 6. All of those, yeah. 4, 5, and 6, really. Like you
Hit
see,
home for me.
I don't know. I mean, you guys know. Like the storylines were so good, and the character development. But yeah, I like 2 and 3 a lot. Sorry.
Do you think your character changed a lot once Syd ended up being your partner on screen?
I don't know that she changed, and I have seen a lot of comments about this that people were like, Elena's so different. I don't think that she changed. You're just getting to see a different side of her, because Elena is this like little powerhouse. It's like, I'm not gonna back down. But this is the one aspect where she feels vulnerable and she feels like she doesn't know what she's doing. So of course you're gonna see a different aspect because she has no clue what's going on. She's just trying to make sure that this works out. So I definitely think you get to see a different side of her, but I also think you get to see her grow a lot and have these conversations that make her uncomfortable and that she doesn't want to have. But through having them, I think she's grown so much, and I think she also really settled into, there's this funny thing about getting older where you realize that you don't know anything. I tweeted about it yesterday. My 20s are really, I thought I knew it all. I did, and I don't. Who thought? And I think Elena really settled into that this season, but in such a beautiful, mature way. I think she really was like, oh, no, I have so much to learn, and that's okay. And I think Syd is really what helped her get there, because a partnership is so beautiful, and what they have is so beautiful, and like the growth that they're doing together makes them also grow as individuals.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I just feel like there was so much depth to that relationship, and also just the fact that they're both so goofy and complement each other in the best ways, and it was always just like, you know, regardless of the serious topics and everything, it was so much fun to get to, and such a great challenge to be able to play those scenes. I mean, it's really amazing. The writers are pretty incredible on this show, but particularly, you know, with Syd,
I thought you were about to point out one writer you liked. You're like, I only like this one writer,
but this one writer who I only work with. But I, you know, being that Isabella, you know, and the character of Elena is very iconic, and I know that everyone loves that character. So coming into season 2, it was tough because I didn't know if people would like Syd. I was scared. You know, you don't know what the reaction is going to be. You can only really focus on doing the work, and then whatever happens later, that happens. And so, you know, I didn't know if there'd be trolls. You know, I'm scared of that internet backlash.
Same.
But the response, particularly from the non-binary community, has been pretty exceptional, and I was very overwhelmed and definitely cried a few times because someone tweeted me, and this really got to me.
There's someone calling. Hang on.
Because this is appropriate on a panel.
Hello?
Shut up.
Oh, wait a minute.
Does he always
I'm
do
gonna
this?
I'm gonna plug you in. I think
Was
there's
this
a whole room of
planned?
people right now.
I genuinely
Was
don't
this
know what's
planned?
I swear to God, I don't know what's happening. This isn't funny.
On the dang panel, we're like, is this planned?
Hello?
Hello?
Who is this?
Rita Moreno. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of people.
Miss Moreno!
Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Oh my God, how many people are there, Brent?
5.
Oh my God. Hi, everybody. I'm on the set of Jane the Virgin shooting a guest spot. And I'm doing their very final episode. You know, they're finally, there's no more of it after this. But Brent asked me if I would call, and I said, gee, I'm going to try, but, you know, I don't know when they're going to be using me and all that. But it turns out that I'm seeing you. I'm not seeing you, but I'm hearing you. Oh, that's great. What can I tell you?
We are so thrilled to hear from you, Rita.
So we have some fans out there. Oh boy. That is so fabulous. How lovely. What is this? Is this a symposium of some kind?
Well, I'm sitting next to Isabella and also.
Who's that? Oh, you mean that little gay bitch? I love you too, Nana. How I do?
Missing you as always.
Oh boy, it's just lovely to hear you, even if it's on the phone. Wow. So what's this about? Well, what am I doing here?
You're pleasing 2,000 fans.
I'm so glad you had me call. I'm really glad. Hey, I love you all. I think it's fabulous that you are steadfast and loyal and that you love us. We have earned it. God Anyway, what else can I say? Brent, tell me. Hello? Yeah, well, what else is new?
We'll let you get back to work. Thank you so much for calling.
I'm delighted. Hey, you all, thank you so much. Goodbye, I love you.
Brent's forgiven.
That was so rude. Brent, you can't do that because we all thought we were about to get picked up.
I know.
Oh.
Was I the only
Oh
one?
God, I didn't even think about that.
I literally was about to start sobbing. So thanks for the heads up, Brent.
Sorry. That's why I was sitting here with my phone on my lap, because I was waiting. Maybe she'd call, maybe she wouldn't. But I wanted it to be a surprise.
You wanted to be the phone guy.
But to that point, we are not dead yet at all.
That's true.
So
We're not getting picked up right now.
we're not picked up right now, but there is some serious conversations taking place. I'm sure you all are caught up to speed. That unfortunately, due to some negotiations that were made early on, we are not able to go to a streaming network that's considered competing. And back then, it was only Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix. So we didn't realize, or at least those negotiating didn't realize, that there would probably be a CBS All Access that would come forward very aggressively as soon as they found out we were canceled and wanted us to go for season 4. But unfortunately, due to that contract, we're not able to take that offer. That said, I have a call at 2 o'clock today to talk with our team at Sony, and there's some significant interest from some of the linear networks.
That's television.
Yeah.
That's
Linear.
the tube.
Yes. So there are more than one interested networks that are eager to give us a home. So I feel optimistic. I feel very optimistic.
I feel like we're going to move on to some Q&As from you folks soon, if you want that. Do you want that? You want some questions? But before, is there something you hope will happen in season 4?
I mean, just a season 4 would be great. Yeah, I'm not picky. Just, I think the college thing will be really cool. Syd and Elena will be older and about to head off to college. And I keep asking, so maybe Gloria and Mike are watching, and I want to see Elena in the dang debate club that they talked about once in season 1, where I'm the captain, and then we never talked about it again. So put me in a debate team, Glow.
Actors ask, Brent.
What'd you say?
Brent's like,
I'm not in this anymore.
I'm not a writer,
not a writer.
at least in this one.
I'd be interested to see, because we've had some mentions of Syd's family, and they sound bonkers. I really need to see what that is, because I'm like, wow, yeah.
Go have dinner like at your house.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
that'd
like,
be a good one. Meet the parents. Yeah.
That's good. I think I'm going to start taking questions from the audience. Does someone have one?
we're just like, nah, we're good.
I see hands. You know what? It's hard to see from here. It's like a
Well, if
sea
you go like this.
of people. Oh, yeah. Wow, that's...
Hello.
All right. Wow, here we go.
Hello.
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 Short person up.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, there's questions. People
Yeah.
want to know.
There's questions for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that lineup. Look at that lineup.
Yes.
Hi.
All right.
Isabella loves questions.
I love questions. That's why I'm doing a panel. I love talking about
I
myself.
love a line.
Hi. I'm Diana. Hello.
Hello.
So I've spent, since I was in 8th grade, trying to become bilingual in Spanish minor and all that, and this was one of the few shows where it actually is bilingual, and how awesome was that? Like, did you just really enjoy that?
So much. I'm bilingual, and this is kind of how like my family is. And I feel like if we could have spoken more Spanish, we would have, in the sense of like, my parents will speak to me in Spanish and I'll reply in English a lot of the time.
Exactly.
And I think that would have been so cool. And I also love that we didn't have subtitles.
Yes! I was like advocating for your show to my wife, and I was like, okay, you have to watch this show. I know you can only understand Spanish, but you can understand Spanish. You don't have to speak it. It was really cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alexis. I'm the co-founder of Latinx Geeks, and Isabella is one of the greatest Latinx characters I think we've ever gotten. Her journey, I think, reflects a lot of first generation, and one thing I know a lot of people relate to is the whole maybe not knowing Spanish or learning Spanish. And I know you're fluent, obviously, but how did you feel about that journey from Elena not really understanding any Spanish pretty much, and then to her practicing with Schneider, and like where do you hope we'll see her next?
I think it was
season?
awesome. I think there's such a weird thing in the Latinx culture where, like, if you don't speak Spanish, you're considered less Latin, which is so stupid. And so I thought it was great to see it, but it is a component of the culture. And for me, when I moved to the US, I was 10, so I only spoke Spanish, but I was trying so hard to learn English that that's all that I would do, and I started losing my Spanish. And so I totally relate to, like, not remembering how to say things or, like, forgetting that. And so I think it's beautiful to portray this aspect of the Latinx community. And I think it's beautiful to have all the 3 generations and like the difference in between them. Did you guys hear that cheer? Somebody exciting just went on stage. And I really enjoy it. But I do really enjoy that she's wanting to learn, because I know a lot of my friends who are Latinos that don't know it want to learn it. And to watch that struggle and watch somebody have this friend in Schneider who, like, what the heck? Like, help each other to do this thing and like feel more of the family, even if they're already completely part of the family, even without it, I thought was really beautiful.
Awesome, thank you.
Hi, I'm Capi from Jiplum. Can I ask you a question in Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay. ¿Cuál sería tu mensaje para la comunidad latina y todo lo que One Day at a Time representa para la comunidad?
Can you translate that in English first?
It's what is my message for the Latinx community, like basically with the One Day at a Time and what it stands for. Creo que este show muestra la mente tan abierta que tenemos que tener en esta comunidad, especialmente. What's up? What happened there? Especialmente creo que en nuestra comunidad peleamos mucho por muchas cosas, porque los cubanos somos mejores o los colombianos somos mejores, o yo hablo español entonces yo soy mejor, o lo que sea, y pienso que juntos seríamos mucho mejor. Y si vemos este show y vemos estas 3 generaciones y todos estos latinos uniéndose a pesar de sus diferencias y trabajando juntos para lograr más cosas, creo que ese es el mensaje más grande para nuestra comunidad.
Muchísimas gracias.
Can I I just add in real quick that people don't know this. On my mom's side, I'm part Mexican. And I understand Spanish much better than I speak it. My mom and my grandma are fluent. I grew up, hearing them talk all the time. So I understood everything when she and Justina would talk in Spanish a lot. And I just want to say, I knew what you guys said.
I just want to say, everyone knew. We weren't trying to hide anything. We're just like bochin.
No, it was nothing crazy, nothing crazy, but I felt good.
So Sheridan, could you translate what just happened for some of us that might not have gotten all of it?
Isabella is just so proud of everything going on, and she loves all of you so much. ClexaCon is one of her favorite events ever.
It's not what I
She's
said, but
excited
it's not true.
about season 4. It's what you said.
I basically just said unity in the Latinx community.
Oh,
Exactly.
that's exciting.
Yeah!
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Put the hat on.
Put the hat on.
Wear it proud. Yeah.
Actually, should we get her to come up for to ask this question?
Dedication.
Do you want to come
Do you
up
want to
here?
come up to ask this question? Just so you
should.
can stand here? Like, here, come.
Come this way. Listen, I really, while she's coming up here, I'm going to tell a very quick story about my manifestation skills. I really wanted a red Adidas tracksuit. Ariella and I actually went to Adidas and tried them on. I couldn't find one that fit me right. And the next episode was this. And they let me keep it. I think that's cool.
I just feel like I'm gonna get you to ask your question right here. Right here.
Get in here.
We're moving furniture.
So my question was for Sheridan. I'm sorry.
I moved my chair for you.
I don't know what to do.
You asked the question. She said she didn't know what to do.
Who else would you like to work with on the show for season 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
Oh.
That you haven't really had a chance to work with?
Oh, from like the current cast? Okay.
Or a guest star, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wait.
besides, you stay here up here because this is amazing and took a lot of hot glue, probably. I don't know. Okay, so I've thought a lot about this, and other than Isabella, I mean, there's no one who could I say other than Isabella?
Nobody, so I don't know why you're
that's
continuing
really
this
it.
answer.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to. So with the cast that is currently on, I feel like, in my mind, Syd and Dr. Berkowitz are such a good match. I don't know. It's something about their personalities. He's having issues with his child, who's always suing him. And I think they would get along great. They've already gone to the opera together. Loved it. I mean,
I'm not even mad anymore. That's genius.
right. Like it works.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Flo?
Yeah. What if she just was back
Walked out.
here?
She's like, no. I'm
Yeah.
not taking ideas
Terrible
from
idea.
you.
Then if there was in my mind some imaginary guest cast person, I guess if we went to the idea of Syd's parents, I have this insane idea in my mind.
I feel like I cast it
It
already.
doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I'm telling you this now.
Casted it.
But the dad is Danny DeVito. It's good. It's good. Like it's good.
Brent, take notes.
No, I'm taking notes.
And the mom, this is wacky. It's Liza Minnelli. Because I feel like they're the perfect people who Syd would get that confidence from them. Do you know what I mean? They're both so wacky and so confident, you know. It's Liza, you know. So that would be that's my answer that I'm going with. But this is so good.
I'm moving my chair back now.
Yeah, I'm gonna
that
walk her
way.
off for a second. Can we take the next question?
I just want to stand. I feel so
Hello.
energetic.
So my question is actually for all three of you. One thing that you probably know, obviously we're excited for season 4, but lesbian, queer fandoms, our love doesn't die with the character. So what I also want to say is, especially, I mean, both of you, so young, you have so many years of stuff ahead of you.
So many.
Thanks, man.
So many. So I'm just curious, what are things that you'll take as actresses, or Brent, that you'll take from the experience of the show moving forward to other projects?
Here's the thing. This show spoiled us to death. So I don't know what I gained in the sense of I just filmed a movie which was wonderful, but it was nothing like this. And I was like, why is nobody just bringing me Skittles all the time? Thought this is just a norm on set. It's like, where's my case of Monster? Nobody's gonna. Okay.
Spoiled.
The last week of season 3, I drank a whole case of Monster by myself. It's a wonder I'm still alive.
Sounds.
No, I will say the love on this set and how much better art is because everybody on this set loves and respects each other so much and allows each other to play and make mistakes without it being a thing, because that's part of the process, makes it so that we can have this show. If there was tension, if there was weird stuff, if people didn't adore each other like we do and believe in each other like we do, I don't think we'd have the show we have. So I think going forward into every set I go on, which hopefully will be many, especially season 4, 5, and 6 of this, I just want to be as loving and as open as possible and make people feel as comfortable as possible.
Hi, I'm Allie. Thanks for coming to ClexaCon.
Thank you.
So this season we had the amazing Stephanie and Melissa on for the first episode. So my question is for both of y'all. So if y'all were gonna guest star on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, what would you imagine your characters would be?
I want to be related to Melissa and Lynn somehow. Just whatever they want. Actually, I don't care. I just want to do it.
I would want to be Andy Samberg's twin.
Thanks, Allie.
Hi, as successful people, thanks. You guys are in the spotlight, critiqued a lot, that kind of thing, but obviously, like human beings, your self-critic is louder than anybody else. Sheridan, you mentioned earlier when you flubbed the lines on that audition. What are some of your strategies for quieting that evil person who's so mean to you?
God, if you ever figure it out, let me know. No, I think support systems are so important, and especially outside of yourself, because once you go into this black hole, it just becomes a thing. So I think, especially on our set, again, we all adore each other and can go to each other. Ariella Barrera, it's so funny. Every time we do panels, we're like, Ariella Barrera, Isabella Gomez. We love each other. I text her way too much about too many problems that I have that aren't real. I made them up in my head. And also, I think journaling and reminding yourself of your worth and your value outside of whatever you're going through. And I'm trying this fun new thing where every morning I'll wake up and before I touch my phone or do anything, I'll just list 5 things I'm grateful for or 5 things about myself that I like, or just be like, hey, calm down. It's going to be okay because it's been okay so far, so it's probably going to be okay today too. And that sounds so cheesy, but I do it. I don't know if it works yet. That's what I do.
Sheridan?
Yeah, for me, at least when it came to if I was nervous about the show or anything like that, it was actually weirdly helpful to be on Twitter because the fans of this show are so great, and it was like this community that's very supportive and made me feel so much better about just everything. Like I would see, tweets that the fans are tweeting, and I'm like, oh wow, this is fun. Yeah, I like this. In general, in my own life, I mean, I do yoga, meditate. That's helped me a lot. It sounds so
LA.
Yeah, it's so LA. Or like, oh, working out. Yeah, stop. Just stop.
I did stop
Which is
working out.
terrible because it's great. I'm already self-loathing on the question. I'm like, yeah, this will make you feel better.
Just
like,
tell yourself
you
to
sound like
shut
an idiot. Just be quiet. But yeah, I mean, those things have helped me a lot. I've journaled before, and that's also helped me. And yeah, as cheesy as it sounds, it's very helpful. So yeah, those
Also,
are
like, be easy on yourself because we all have those moments of like hating ourselves, and like it's human. It's fine. Like you're gonna move on. Is that bad advice? Maybe.
Good advice. Treat yourself like a friend.
Yeah, like it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna shut up now.
Thank you. Brent, do you have any gratitude practices?
I work with Norman, who's I'm really close with every day, who's 96, and comes to work every day. He couldn't be more inspirational to me. I've been with him about 12 years. So I think my practice is, I couldn't feel luckier to be doing what I'm doing. And the fact that all of us, in an industry that we're all playing in, it's a really small percentage of the people around the world that would love to be in this industry. And I have to remind myself quite often when things aren't going my way that I'm not curing cancer. I'm just trying to, make a difference creatively in a way that I think I can and have a good time doing it. So
that works. That works.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brent.
We have 5 more minutes, so we can take a couple more questions.
Sorry.
This mic stand, you guys.
Okay, so the first time episode was a really beautiful episode, and I was wondering with all the fandom references and stuff that happened in the show, and the fact that the episode was the 7th episode of season 3, it was 307. That number has a lot of connotations. Was that an intentional thing, or yeah?
Do you know about this, Brent?
I don't.
They're talking about Clexa.
I
know the answer to that
Educate
one.
me.
So, do you want to expand for Brent? Because he's
Sure.
probably going to be the one with the answer.
Yeah, so the episode of the 100 where they killed off Lexa, which was not a good episode. That was the 7th episode of season 3, so that number was sort of like became sort of a thing. Yeah, within the. I'm not explaining this well.
I'm gonna answer and say that none of us know.
No.
And I think Gloria would know, and she's very smart, and she probably did that on purpose. But if
Yeah,
she did,
probably.
she did not tell us.
It's a coincidence. Then?
Or it was purposeful,
Yeah,
but
or-
from not
I'm
from us.
sorry,
No
I
one
don't know.
told us.
I mean, we can assign meaning to it now.
We did that on purpose. Yes.
Sorry, my legs are asleep.
Yes, suit.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
You
suit.
like your
Yes.
suit.
Inspired by you, I was actually going to have the glasses on, but I left them in the hotel.
Good.
Real quick, I want to say I saw the ATX news, and then my fiance and I are buying you breakfast tacos in Austin. So
Oh my god. Yay.
I'm very excited about that. My question is, when Elena is president, who's going to be her VP?
Oh man.
Yes.
Thank you for answering that for me, so I didn't sound ignorant.
Well, it
up
doesn't
here.
have to be a policy.
AOC is gonna be. Can I be the VP and she's the president?
That's also fine.
Yeah. She should be the president, I'll be VP. But I did see somebody made this like Elena, like Alvarez 2044 poster.
Yeah,
it's
that's what
incredible.
inspired the question.
I love it so much. Let's do a reboot in 2040. I'm in.
It's fast. No more?
No more? It's really
Oh, no. We've run out of time. But
run out of time. But I want to thank everybody for coming.
There's literally one more.
Can we do one more? Can we do one more?
Just a real fast question. I was excited to see the video game art because I'm a video game voice actor. Do you guys actually play video games? And what are your favorites?
Oh, I play a lot of Animal Crossing.
Me too!
I love Animal Crossing.
That counts.
I love catching my fish, selling to Tom Nook.
Yes!
Otherwise, like Spyro is a favorite. What else?
I've tried to play Call of Duty with my boyfriend, and I'm not good.
Don't do it.
Not good.
It's hard.
The basketball game's not good. The shooting game's not good. The driving one, I was good for a second. I think it was beginner's luck, and then not good. I'm not very.
So yeah, we're gamers.
So I'm gonna make you guys. Let's thank Brent, our very true ally. And then we're gonna thank Sheridan for bringing Syd to life, and Isabella, our one day at a time darling.
I love you guys. Thank you for coming. You're the best. #SayVoteAt. I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.